bro. Don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro. Got my man David Ajabo.
Shout out Zone 32.
That's right. Let him know.
Come to Kane, you best not miss.
You're now locked into Zone 32.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. It's the three of us tonight. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. We got time. Say what's up to the people, man. All right, fine. Let's get on it.
You take a week off and you think we're stupid now or something?
No. Well, first and foremost, it's never a stupid thing. It's never me just trying to rudely interrupt you and everything. It's just trying to show people you love, man. That's all.
No, you're just trying to bait us into it so you can yell "shut the fuck up" at us. Like, this isn't our first rodeo.
Well, that's fair.
You can get the new guests. You can get the new guests on it. You can't get us.
That's fair. Well, either way, let's jump into it. So, Ravens had a preseason game. The streak is extended to 24. They beat the Eagles 20-19. Tyler Huntley played in the second half. He got tweaked his hammy after what was it, the first drive? Something like that. The first drive of the third quarter, some bullshit.
Yeah, it was early in his appearance.
But still, he did his drive. He scored a touchdown through actually a nice ball to fucking Tylan Wallace. It actually caught the back shoulder. So, hey, good for him. He's been good in the preseason before. So, what else is new? But Josh Johnson, kind of shaky. Not terrible because he didn't turn the ball over. Anthony Brown, it's a little bit of work to do, but it's all right. The Ravens still won 2019. I personally don't give a fuck because it's like, hooray for you. So you have a couple of Skittles for your 24-game win streak in the preseason. But Drew, are there any concerns you would like to address regarding that game since it happened?
Number one, I'm concerned with our fans. I'm all in on the streak. You know, I've gone back and forth on it, but fuck it, I just never want to lose a preseason game again. I know that they don't mean shit, but it's always fun winning. So anybody who says purposely end the streak, when it was 20-19 and we were getting the ball back there, I said we should bring in Lamar to make sure we seal the deal. I never want to lose another preseason game again.
Honestly, can I just interject a pro move for all Ravens bettors? Is do not bet the Ravens before the game because they're always going to be minus money line. So wait until they go down by a score and then put your bet in. That's what I did. I got plus money on it, so it was a solid bet. I bet them when they were down. I think they were down 7-0. Maybe it was 10.
I've heard Penn Entertainment is looking for a new gambling partner, so maybe Zone 32 and Penn deal.
Yeah, so
we'll come for significantly less than Barstool. So.
That's my Ravens preseason betting hack is just wait until the other team scores a touchdown and then put your money line bet in, and you will get good value, and we will end up winning the game. Yeah,
I mean it just we always win. That's pretty much death, taxes, Ravens winning a preseason football game are the three absolutes in life. So other than that, a lot of you see a lot of shit online. I think there were three kind of takeaways for me player-wise. Number one is Keaton Mitchell is going to make the 53-man roster, even with Jacqueline showing back up to practice today or yesterday.
Yesterday. He was there yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, he was there yesterday, practice today, whatever. Keaton Mitchell is going to make the roster because there's no shot that he makes it through waivers and makes it to the practice squad. A, and B, he's just got that, speed, shiftiness, kind of ability, good vision, kind of knows which lanes to take. And yes, it's preseason. I get it. He wasn't playing against the best players, but it's just more of a, you watch him with the ball in his hands and he's going to be good. I think that he's got to make the 53. I think Darius Washington needs a legitimate shot, especially with Pepe Williams now out until I think Harbaugh said October. I know he had surgery today and he posted on Instagram that it was successful. So I don't know. They say October now, so that realistically to me means mid-November he'll be back by.
He'll be practicing in October, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be practicing in October and actually in games in November at some point. So I think you got to look at Darius Washington as that slot corner nickel safety kind of guy. He just again has a nose for the ball. He's a little undersized and he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he just kind of always seems to be there and make plays. And my third takeaway is that I don't know what the fuck Ben Cleveland did, but he's not making the team. He had a couple bad plays that kind of stood out on, watching the game. He whiffed on 2 or 3 blocks, I think. But in general, like he was actually okay. And I trust Cole Jackson on this. I don't watch football games and watch the offensive lineman play. I typically go to somebody like him who will study hours of film. And he said, other than those 2 or 3 plays that looked bad, like that would stand out to a fan who watches football normally, that he had a pretty good game. PFF agreed with Cole too. So I don't know, like he fucked somebody's wife. He doesn't know the playbook. He's, brain dead. I don't know what his issue is, but the Ravens clearly have no use for him. Like they clearly don't
I think
want
they
him.
do have use for him. The use is he's right guard depth, because left guard is John Simpson
Right, but you don't take
snatching souls on. I mean, and that's not to say that a preseason game is necessarily indicative of what they're going to do, but John Simpson looked really good, and Salah looked okay. So that's the pecking order on the left side.
Last year.
Yeah, and Filele looked good too.
Yeah.
So
I guess when I say that they have no use for Cleveland is you don't draft a backup right guard in the 3rd round.
no,
Like that's not so you've basically overdrafted him. You're now overpaying him because you overdrafted him. And so I feel like if there's a situation where they can, move him and recoup any kind of value for him back, I think they will.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to cut him.
Oh no, yeah, I can't imagine that they cut him because again, end of camp, there's going to be somebody who has, offensive line injuries and is willing to look at Ben Cleveland and say, yeah, you haven't really worked out in Baltimore, but you've played on a good team under a good offensive line coach, and maybe we'll give you a shot here. So
just like it's just like Ben Bredesen all over.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, Ben Bredesen had no business getting a 4th round pick in return for him, and yet we got a 4th round pick back.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean those are really my and I jinxed James Prochet. Shout out Mo Stone having him on the podcast, a great guy. But I specifically said that Prochet's in on making the team was that he had sure hands on the return and wouldn't do anything stupid with the ball, and then fumbles the kick return. So or punt return. So I feel like that's kind of my fault. I was actually being genuine there too. I wasn't like trolling or being a dick. Like I was, if I thought if Prochet was going to be on the 53-man roster, like it would be because of the special teams and the sure-handedness, and then he just must have listened and been like, oh yeah, this guy thinks I have sure hands. Like, fuck you. Even though it didn't drop until after the game, but that's we can push that narrative.
That was really bad.
Yes.
I mean, we can't put him back there to field a punt ever again.
No, and it was just like again. I've spent 3 years giving that man shit. Like of all the things that he's done wrong in my book, like that's never been one of them. I've never been careless with the football, I would say.
Yeah.
Other than the one time he threw it into quadruple coverage.
That was pretty careless. Yeah. But that's different circumstances. But
yeah, that's not his normal position.
Yeah, but now Duvernay is the primary returner. Zay Flowers can get back there and return the ball if we need a spark, and we could put Keaton Mitchell back there to return kicks.
Right.
Or Justice Hill.
And I mean, honestly, if you really want to get weird, you put Zay Flowers back there too. So
that's why I said, like, if you want to put Zay Flowers back there, like they used to, like Tyreek Hill used to go back when they were looking for a big play, you could do that.
Yeah, you could put
Odell,
Justice Hill, Odell, somebody else next to him, and put 2 guys like that back there, and they're not going to know where to kick it. So
right.
I don't know. It's just again, I think the Prochet era is over.
After that, I don't think any player who's a bubble player can survive a play in a preseason game like that.
My only drawback or my only hesitancy to say that he's 100% gone is that in my book he should have been gone after year 1, and like he has consistently done nothing to warrant that 53-man roster spot that he keeps being given. So now I'm like, is he like a cockroach in the nuclear holocaust that he's Teflon? You can't get rid of him.
I guess the other thing that could happen now is if he deflates his own value. Like, I don't know that another team's going to want to take a flyer. Like you said, like last week, Mo was saying he's not going to be on a practice squad. He'll be on another roster. Well, I don't know that another team is going to be willing to take a risk on a guy who, if his main attribute that they're looking at is sure hands, and he just made a dumbass play in a preseason game like that, maybe he does sneak through to our practice squad, and then we have some wide receiver depth with NFL experience on the practice squad. Who knows?
I mean, would he want to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if that's the opportunity that's presented, then I don't know that he has a choice at that point, unless he just wants to go take a break and wait till someone calls.
He's got butterfly T-shirts to design, so
he's got mountains to climb.
If he gets a 100-yard game in the CFL this year, do I still have to buy Channel 3 merch?
You said anywhere.
Yeah, no, I didn't really think that one through.
Yeah.
Nope.
XFL legend James Prochet.
Fucking Christ.
Coming soon.
Orioles are down 5-0 in the first inning.
Oh, it's a real shame. I hate to hear that. That might be the
James
worst thing I've heard all
point,
night.
He might could have another option. He could wind up on somebody else's practice squad. Yeah, I don't watch baseball, so I'm like, but nonetheless,
that's fair, but
yeah.
I mean, other than that, I feel like people put a little bit too much stock into preseason games and kind of, they tend to freak out. Like, to me, it was really the left guard thing is like we've said, is John Simpson looks like that's his job to lose.
Yep.
He's the first guy. He obviously started the game, but again, he looked better than Saleh.
Dude, that one play where he got his block off the snap, and then he was just looking for somebody, and
he lit
oh my god!
I think that was oh my god, the fucking kid the Eagles took this year,
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I think that was Jalen Carter.
It was either Jalen Carter or the dude from last year. Who's the guy that took last
year?
Jordan
Davis.
Davis.
That was not Jordan Davis, because then he would have like a broken neck. Jordan Davis is too big to hit around like that.
Well, he was engaged with
whoever the center. I think that was Mustafa playing center, and he actually wasn't bad as a backup center. But again, like there's not a whole ton to read into there. Other than like I said, Simpson starting. There were guys who looked good, who probably deserve more serious looks for roster spots that maybe you weren't getting that before. And I would say that would be Mitchell and Washington were two kind of bubble guys. Even Jeff Streetback had Washington as a bubble guy after the first preseason game. And I think it comes down to Gordon or Mitchell for, I guess running back 4, you would call it at that point. And I think you could probably give that to Mitchell. It just makes more sense. Younger guy, doesn't have fumble issues,
Less tread on the tires with Gordon's career.
Yeah, less tread on the tires. So, yeah. And, Melvin Gordon's pretty happy with being on a practice squad and getting rings for that. So maybe we just put Melvin Gordon on our practice squad in case of injury. But, yeah, preseason football is weird because people kind of – it's not real football. It's shitty third string players playing against shitty third string players, and like you kind of have to take everything you see with a grain of salt. But it was
just
nice.
It's just like spring training baseball. Like when you see a pitcher goes out and the guys are hitting home runs off him, it's probably because he's just going out working on his fastball location. Not that he's like gonna have a bad season. It's just they're working on one thing.
Right, and on top of that, you don't get actual players, you don't get starting players playing against starting players. So you never really get a good feel of what these guys can do. It was really, like Zay Flowers, the speed and the change of direction showed up, and that's fine. But like we knew that was going to happen. That's not really a shocking thing to anybody.
Right.
And he only played that one series anyway. I don't know. Like I think people dig a little bit too deep into it, but it was good to see Ravens football back. Good to carry on the streak. That's really all that was important to me, is that we continued the streak.
I do think that there is significance to the James Prochet play because Harbaugh takes special teams so seriously. So a mistake like that, I think, it has some significance. I don't know if it's going to be the end of him in Baltimore or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is a contributing factor.
If this is the end of James Prochet, it's because of that play.
Yes.
That was the final nail in the coffin. If he's gone, and if he's not gone, it's like I said, he is cockroach in nuclear war, and you can't kill him. He's unkillable. He'll never go anywhere, and he's going to be a Raven for the next 40 years. Like that's really those are really our two options there.
He's gonna end up being the head coach at some point, and then the president of the team, and then he's gonna own the team. Yeah.
Yep.
He's gonna rename them the Baltimore Butterflies.
Yeah, fucking redesign all the jerseys, and those are really your only two outcomes, because Jake is right that he could, or you're right, he could be a practice squad guy, I guess, but I just don't see it. Like I don't think he would want to be. I think he'd probably rather take a year off than be a practice squad guy.
I think it'd be more likely if he were to be a practice squad guy. I don't think it'd be with us. I think he'd go somewhere else, because I think
that could also
one of his Rebix articles, he mentioned he looks like someone who could use a change of scenery, and he's not wrong.
His uncle said the same thing here.
Yeah. Whether it means he actually succeeds somewhere else or not, it's at the point where he probably is thinking like, okay, it's year 4 and I'm moving backwards in this organization. So if my career is ever going to progress, I need to go try somewhere else. And if it doesn't catch on, then it's butterfly t-shirts for life.
Yeah, and it's just. like you can't keep guys like that around as just depth pieces forever. Like at some point they're going to want more, and they're going to want to, prove that they're better than what you're using them for. And maybe he's not, like you said, maybe he is just a career wide receiver 6 that fields a few punts and makes butterfly t-shirts and is a cheerleader on the sideline. But you don't really know that until he does that somewhere else.
I bet he could be a good coach.
Maybe.
I'm not saying I want him to be a coach on the Ravens. I'm just saying like that. Yeah. I'm sure that is something that, is possibly in his future.
He's actually got that, like strength and conditioning coach where he's like, rah, like in everybody's face, like hyping him up, like that stuff. He's got that vibe to him that he could be in the gym, weight room at 5:00 in the morning, screaming at you to, one more rep.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
So I could see that.
Chance with his butterfly t-shirts. What are the chances that he's listened to that terrible Crazy Town song Butterfly?
That song is so bad it's good.
Exactly. That's Limp Bizkit in general, though. Even though that's not a Limp Bizkit song, that's the state of affairs with Limp Bizkit with most new metal.
I'm sitting here, I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? I remember now. Now it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, 2001.
Remember the dude?
2001.
The dude was on that celebrity rehab,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Drew. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he alive?
Probably not.
I think he is. Crazy Town was playing shows.
Okay.
Recently.
I don't want to say,
small club shows, but still shows.
Yeah, 6 people watching.
Probably.
He's like the asshole that I go to a bar and I see a stage set up and I'm like, oh, there's nobody here. Like I don't have to wait forever for drinks, and then some shitty band comes on and plays. I'm like, oh, that's why, because everybody else got the memo that these jackasses are playing. Doesn't want to be here. Those are the ones I usually go find their Twitter account or their Instagram account and leave hate comments. Say, you guys suck. You ruined my fucking dinner. Like, go fuck yourself. But
of course, those bands don't check their Twitter. Like they check it once every 2 years.
Because they fucking suck, and they probably have 800 comments like that from people like me, or like, I just wanted a nice fucking calm meal with my wife, and you dickheads
here's
are playing, Bon Jovi covers, fucking singing off key.
The more hate comments there are, the better a band will actually do, just because polarization. If a couple people like it, most people, they just ignore it. They're like, oh, this is terrible. I'm moving on with my day. And that's how you kill them. If you leave them hate comments, then like you get a reaction out of them, all of a sudden you're giving them attention, doing the thing you didn't want to do.
At some point, they need to understand, like, stay the fuck out of restaurants. Like, go play at, places where people aren't trying to have dinner. Right. So the PSA, Will's hill to die on is that you shouldn't use your phone full blast in public. Mine's that shitty band shouldn't play in fucking restaurants. But anyway, different during
dinner time. They should, if they're gonna do that, they should close the restaurant.
They should go play somewhere else. The fuck away from me.
Yeah, I don't think live music should start in a restaurant until after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta close the restaurant if you're gonna do that.
If you serve sit down food, you should not have live music. If you're a bar, then it's a little bit different. But like a regular ass restaurant should not have some dickwad sitting in the corner with a guitar playing shitty music.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Unless it's like a jazz band or something. Jazz band is whatever, because then you feel fancy.
No, they should fuck off too.
Oh, fuck that. Give me J.K. Simmons. Give me J.K. Simmons throwing the fucking cymbal at your head.
If I wanted fucking music, I'd go to a bar. If I want to sit down and eat dinner and not be bothered by some dickbag trying to live out a dream that's never going to happen, then, I wouldn't go to dinner at that place. It's just not where they belong. They should just fucking go somewhere else. It's the most heated I've been at, since fucking Grant's been on. We miss Grant. At least Grant
we do. Grant, come back. Take your time off from practice and come back, you bastard. But anywho, that's right. But anyway, speaking of practice, the Ravens are in a joint practice with the fucking commies, whom apparently some random group is trying to get them to change the name back, but I haven't looked into that situation or story enough to really comment on it.
It's the guy who has the @Redskins handle. Did one of those the WhiteHouse.gov petition or whatever the fuck it is, where like you got like 700,000 signatures on it.
Oh, that's fun. So he's basically trying to get cash out.
It's a bunch of nerds on the internet. But again, I think they should go back to the Redskins, and they'll just be kind of funny.
Right, it might as well. And honestly, you could probably get away with it too if you just change the logo to a Redskin potato.
Yeah.
I mean,
hypothetically, that will never happen. But
no, of course not.
They will probably change the name though, because Commanders is like universally a joke.
Honestly, just change it to the Comrades so your boy Kip or whatever can just become a full-on commies fan. Change the logo to the hammer and sickle, fucking burgundy uniforms. It's right there. It's right there
Catching
for the
strays.
face.
Joseph
Suther's
Stalin
catching
as a
strays.
mascot. Yeah,
I'm
catching
just
strays
saying.
for no reason.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to help the man
Stalin,
out. Is all.
just Stalin as a mascot.
That's right. Stalin or Chairman Mao, whoever the fuck you want. Castro,
Marx.
fucking Marx. Could have fucking
Pol Pot.
who was Pol Pot? Yep, Pol Pot.
Fidel
Okay.
Castro.
Lenin.
We're just like missing.
You could make your official beverage at all your games Leninade.
Do you make the Beatles your like band of choice, like you do Imagine as like your theme song that you come out to? Is that your running out of the tunnel music?
If not that, the Yoshi's Island theme song, because that is literally the fucking Soviet Union national anthem, but played with a melody instead of words.
Here we go with Jake's random facts.
Why do you know that? Why the fuck do you know that? Where does that come from?
All the worst parts of my mind.
I'm on the internet a lot, and like all I absorb is like random sports facts that mean nothing. But you're like, oh yeah, Yoshi, fucking Super Mario Brothers are pushing communist, shit to children.
Yep, yes they were. Even
different parts of it. I guess we just grew up on. Different parts of the internet because
I mean the name of the game, because he had two. He had Super Mario Brothers World or Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, where you're trying to prevent the dog catcher from catching Yoshi, but the Yoshi's Island, you're trying to prevent Child Protective Services from stealing Mario from you. So hey, anyway, let's get off of this shit. The commies and Ravens are practicing. Get back on the rails, Jake. But anyway, commies Ravens are practicing. Apparently, Zay Flowers dusted up Emmanuel Forbes in 11-on-11s, which cool beans.
It was one-on-ones.
Was it one-on-ones? Well, either way, he dusted them up.
He torched two guys. He torched multiple people today.
Yeah, he was making people silly.
Which makes sense. One-on-ones, it's hard to, as a DB, to try to take away his receiver, because at that point, you're not studying any film. They could literally just do whatever route they want on you. So like, are you taking the inside leverage? I'm doing the out route. Are you taking away the outside? I'm going in. Where the fuck I feel like.
It was the way that he beat them that was the more impressive. The one that I'm thinking of was just a straight comeback where he had the corner run 5 yards past him because how quick he just
fall down. Yeah, I mean he fell down. So
yeah, so like that's the kind of stuff. And again, like Jake said, one-on-ones are not fair to the corner. The corner's at the bigger disadvantage there. So again, like barely beating him is one thing, but Zay Flowers was putting, he had on that go route that he beat Emmanuel Forbes on, he probably had 5 yards of separation there. And then on that comeback route, he probably created, 5, 6, 7 yards of space with how quick he just stopped and turned there.
Right. And that's where he's going to be so dangerous.
Yeah, it's not human.
Once he gets the ball in his hands with that space, good luck.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that you need 3 people to tackle, and it's not because he's big and hard to take down. It's because you don't know which direction he's going to go, and you have to make sure you kind of block him up from all ways.
It's like Lamar.
Yeah. Instead of tackling Zay Flowers, you almost want to get 4 people to hug him at once so that he really has nowhere else to go. Because otherwise, there's a good shot that he's breaking somebody's ankles and somebody's going on a highlight film. So
yeah, arm tackles aren't going to work on him either.
Yeah, there was that for positive things from practice. There was that, and there was a gun bunch fake toss that turned into a wide receiver screen to Odell that I've probably watched 45 times. Like Greg Roman would never do something like that. And so I've just continually clicked refresh and watched the replay over and over again. And Odell took it for a touchdown, but they stopped trying to tackle him after probably 40 yards. But there appears to be legitimate wrinkles in this offense and creative things. And they're showing that day one of joint practices. So I can only imagine how much deeper that playbook's going to go.
Well, apparently Lamar is he's finding routes and play concepts on social media, showing them to Monken, and they're inserting them into the playbook. So love that. And this again just completely sinks this fucking idiotic narrative that dumbass. We haven't used the term Legion of Gloom for a long time, but those people, when Monken got hired and they all decided it was a nepotism hire, that Lamar hates him. That's why Lamar wasn't signing an extension, all that bullshit. That was just made up nonsense.
We should write a book. We should hire a research assistant and just give them some Twitter handles and keywords to search, and then just do a page by page takedown of all the stupid shit these people have said that has been proven wrong in 5 months.
Well, these people have pivoted now. all of a sudden, because obviously you all remember last year just lamenting wide receivers, the lack thereof, which is understandable, but they weren't going to succeed in the Greg Roman offense. Now they've pivoted back to corners, so they're like, hey, you didn't do enough to fulfill that need. So, like, what are we doing?
Last year they were complaining that we paid Marcus Peters too much money. And now they're like,
Exactly.
oh my God. You know,
oh my
like,
God, I want Marcus Peters back.
Oh
he
my
has
God,
2 picks
at
Raiders trading camp. Like, settle down.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing?
These people back themselves into corners with just dumb shit that they say over and over again of, you know, oh my God, I don't want to overspend on these mid-value contracts. And then like when Jadeveon Clowney signs for $6 million, you're going to be like, oh, this cheapskate fuck Eric DeCosta won't sign, you know, fucking Jadeveon Clowney for $6 million. It's all just, I want to be mad online today. And so this is what the Ravens are doing that I'm going to be mad about. It's annoying, but like, I think Will and I have killed off enough of them at this point that, you know, they got to like regroup and come up with a new slant, and it's just because it's not working.
Yeah, well, and on Clowney, I think right now I'm assuming his agent is just trying to see.
So he left the Jags on offer, right?
Well, but between us and the Jags, which team's going to give him more money?
No, so I read that he left the Jags with no offer at all. They did not offer him a contract, and he has a pending offer with the Ravens. So I don't know if he told the Jaguars what number the Ravens offered him. They're like, yeah, fuck that, we're not meeting that, or
okay.
You know, I don't, and again, this could be, so I heard it on the Vault this morning. So that could have been, you know, a misinterpreted tweet because it was not like directly from a Jaguars person. It was, I think Bobby read off some beat writer's tweet and, you know, it said that he left without a contract offer. So I don't know. I think that it's he's a Raven or he's going to, you know, wait for somebody to like tear an ACL in camp and then he's going to hop in and get more money from that team.
Right.
I'm not wishing somebody tears their ACL for the record. I'm just saying that that's, you know, the opportunist shit that he must be waiting for because if, you know, he's been out there forever and the Ravens are the only team that have a reported pending offer. So he either wants crazy money or.
I think we should be, you know, whatever we offered him, just put another $1 million on it and get it done because I think we need it.
I would give him whatever fucking, if he wants $15 million a year, I'd give him, you know, 6-7 guaranteed. And then just give him incentives to work his way up to whatever the fuck he wants because it's a win-win situation at that point.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if it's sack incentives. I don't know if it's snaps played incentives. I don't know if it's games played incentives. Whatever the fuck they have to be for it to work out. You know, if you have Jadeveon Clowney here and healthy for 17 games, he's going to be worth whatever you pay him.
So my prediction for his contract that he would get from us would be a 2-year deal, $14 million, $6 million signing bonus, veteran minimum salary. So it would be like 7.3 million guaranteed year 1 and then year 2 basically like it's a cut year.
Yeah. Or they do, you know, they've been a big fan of void years this year. So, you know, I mean, maybe they structure it
and obviously there would be some incentives on there that might get it up to like 10.
Yeah. I don't see any harm in bringing him in. And same thing with Van Noy. I don't see any harm in bringing him in. I think
and they're both guys that really don't need a full camp. Because they're going to be a rotational pass rusher. They have a ton of experience. They're smart. They probably have a playbook already, I would think, after coming in.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine that either one of them is going to be like, this idiot can't figure out the playbook, so he can't get on the field type guy. They're both, you know, Kyle Van Noy is only, you know, looking for NFL jobs because he's like a smart player, and that's his, you know, that's why Bill Belichick trusted him. That's why, you know, the Raiders. I assume Van Noy's going to go to the Raiders, but that just seems like a Josh McDaniels move. But
yeah,
you know, I could be wrong there, but I think eventually you have to go get Clowney, or you have to do something with the pass rush. And I know always getting, you know, all kinds of praise from camp. He had 3 sacks today in the joint practice. You know, everybody's been praising how great he's looked, and Ajabo's looked good too, but I just think you need that other guy. I don't trust the UDFAs or Malik Harrison, or, you know, we really don't have that veteran guy. So
we don't know what's happening with Bowser.
Right, that too. So you really don't have any veterans in the front 7 besides Roquan, and Roquan's obviously not a pass rusher, so you need that, you know, kind of older guy to hold shit together.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I think personally Clowney should be. I hope he's got a contract in hand signed by the end of the week.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's for me. It's really, I don't even care if he has a contract here by the end of the week. I just don't want him to sign somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's your mythical Houston, you know, scenario where he's like, I'll show up on, you know, August 18th. I'm good with that. long as he's here before September 10th, I really don't give a shit. That's really all that matters to me. It's the same thing with, people freaking out that Ronnie hasn't practiced in 2 days. I don't care anymore. Like,
Harbaugh said why. Harbaugh said why, though. He said they were just managing his workload. Yeah.
Yeah, rest day Ronnie.
I mean, that's totally fine because, I mean, that ankle was 2 full years of rehab. So, I mean, keep that thing fresh.
He's soft. And, people don't like to say he's soft. He's too smart for the position that he plays. And so he thinks way too much about protecting himself for the future. And it makes him come off as soft, and he doesn't want to practice. But I really don't care as long as he's there on Sunday. Again, like, there are guys who need practice. There are guys who need to show up to practice and do well, like J.K. Dobbins or, any of the wide receivers fighting for a spot. Like, Ronnie Stanley is a top 5 tackle in the NFL. So I really don't care if he shows up to practice or not. It really is not a concern to me.
No, I agree.
I think people get a little bit concerned with him because of how the last few years have gone with kind of the Ronnie might be practicing this week, and then it goes a whole week and he doesn't practice and he doesn't play, and I think people kind of get like PTSD from that. But the reality is, like, who fucking cares? He's fine. Harbaugh says he's fine. Fucking show up for week 1. That's all I care about.
Yep, agreed.
Well, we've seen him last year. He's the Jenga piece of the offensive line. When he's out there, it's a much better group. When he's not out there, it's a shit show. I mean,
well, especially this year, the unknown is playing next to him. So that's kind of you really want him there at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Why do you think Ben Powers got a contract extension? 2021, he looked like shit, and we kept talking about fly him into the fucking sun. Ronnie Stanley comes back. I literally said
to drown him in the Inner Harbor. Like, I was multiple weeks in a row, I advocated murdering him in a different gruesome manner. So
yeah, consistently.
And then Ronnie's back, and like you said, he's all of a sudden, like, he's getting a pretty big contract. Bozeman got a decent contract, and again, Bozeman also played center too, so that kind of helped. But he got his start as a left guard. Like, that's how he broke his way into offensive line rotation. So it makes a big difference playing next to Ronnie Stanley. Morgan Moses went way up in my book today too. I don't know, fucking fight night at M&T Bank or Owings Mills practice facility today. Devin Duvernay stock way up for me with just starting, coming in and finishing that fight.
Yep.
Slam the guy who got in the fight with Wallace and then just threw a cheap shot at somebody
else.
Well,
how about Tylan Wallace though too? I mean, I like to see that.
Well, yeah, I like to see the fire. I think that punching guys with close fists when they're wearing a helmet is kind of stupid. So, especially when you're a wide receiver and you need your hands, maybe open hand slap next time. I would just, advise against what he did.
Mm-hmm. Or be like Mark Andrews. Give him a belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah. Justin Tucker. I'm not going to point out exactly when in the video, but he puts on his helmet, and I'm fairly positive he's standing over number 13, kicking him in the back of the head at some point in that scrum. But he's definitely in that mix, and I'm pretty sure it was him. But I'm not going to, I won't go highlight it because I don't want him to get suspended. And, yeah, Morgan Moses came in and punched a couple people in the Mark Andrews melee there. So, yeah, I like the chippiness day 1 of practice. And I also like that it's not, it's guys who kind of are more veteran leaders, I guess, or, it's not like some jackass bottom of the roster player. It's kind of solidified guys that are doing it. So, like, they're hyped up, like they're ready to go. It's not like it's, player 60 on your roster that's trying to, get somebody's attention and move his way up to 53. Like it's Mark Andrews is here for the long haul. Morgan Moses is our starting right tackle. If Duvernay's not here, it's because somebody gave us some great offer for him in a trade. So I do like seeing like the kind of, more established guys getting in on the action here.
Right. No, I agree. We signed a couple of depth.
No-name corners.
Yeah, I mean, one of them I think will make the team. I can't even remember his name. The dude from the Bears.
DeAndre something Carson. Henderson Carson.
Yeah, it's like DHC.
Yeah, he's got a hyphenated. The last name is Carson, and it's an H. But it's not Hopkins. I keep wanting to say Hopkins. So Henderson, or fuck no, it's DHC. That works for me. Bears fans had nothing but good things to say about him. So I feel like either, Bears fans are a little bit shell-shocked, stupid. I don't know, whatever. They've had a rough run of it, but nobody was like, oh, this guy's trash. So they said that he's a really good special teams guy, which is why I think he'll probably be the one who sticks around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
he's got the size of a nickel, right?
Yeah, he's a little undersized, but he picked off Jalen Hurts last year. Hoodie Ramey made sure that 14 seconds after the news went live that he had a highlight to post of him. So that was the one that he chose to share. So hardest working guy on Twitter. I just have to point that out again. Is that nobody can search highlights and post them faster than Cody Ramey.
Well, yeah, he can't drink it,
not even being sarcastic. Like just fucking 3 seconds after something happens, he's got a video up. It's. I don't know if he has them all bookmarked or what, but I feel like he should probably be in school. He's like 12, but
yeah, I was gonna say. School.
Oh, it's summer actually. But
yeah, exactly. He ain't got that young man ain't got summer school. And he's too young to
get a hobby. I don't fucking know.
Learn how to tie a knot or some shit in summer school.
Yeah, I don't know. Go be a fucking Boy Scout.
Godspeed. There you go.
Yeah.
Go to barber school.
Go to barber school.
There's no need. He doesn't have any hair.
Yeah. Bald as shit, looking like Caillou.
Yep.
And then who was the Lions guy that we claimed?
Tay Hayes,
which again he comes off as
camp body.
Camp body maybe beats out like I don't know, Daryl Worley or somebody, Kevon Seymour, something like that.
Kevin Seymour, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So nothing signings, but everybody's freaking out and wanting more corners. But I don't know who else you go get who's out on the market.
Well, because
William
Jalen
Jackson was intriguing, but
yeah, Jalen Armour-Davis and Rocky Sin are dinged up, so we have more corner depth. It's just that it's not available right now. So if they're confident they're going to be ready for week 1, then people need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, you go out and sign warm bodies to carry that winning streak to 27 this year or 26. We'll go to 26. Yeah, so that's really important. That's kind of what you're focused on right now. So you just need the warm bodies to get you to 26, but they're not going to be guys that factor in. And like I said, if that, DeAndre H. Carson, whatever the fuck his other name is,
Houston.
Houston, there we go. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So DeAndre Houston Carson, like if he makes the 53-man roster, it's because he factors in on special team. He's not your number 2 corner next to Marlowe. You're not going to find somebody like that. And I think, as we've probably said 14 weeks in a row at this point, like EDC has a proven track record of pulling the trigger on that trade on the defensive side of the ball at a position that he feels like he needs. Every year since he's taken over, he's done it. So I don't know why that would change this year. So if he feels like Rocky Sin is not the move at CB2, or, maybe they sign Clowney and he gets hurt, doesn't work out. Maybe he feels like they need a pass rusher more than CB2. Like, he'll go make that move. He brought in Yannick. He brought in Marcus Peters. He brought in Roquan. There's no reason at this point to doubt that he would, go make another midseason move. So I'm all for the camp bodies, and maybe somebody pops, maybe somebody works out, maybe somebody turns into, a better player than expected. But I really don't. I'm just ready for the regular season to come at this point. I think this is all fucking a waste of our time.
Yeah. I agree. I'm ready.
Most definitely.
I want CJ Stroud flat on his fucking back with David Ajabo's, fucking, I don't know, nutsack in his face, and he just fumbled, first snap of the game. So
fucking teabags him after the sack.
Yeah, just fuck Ohio State, fuck CJ Stroud. Let's fucking get it. Set the tone. Touchback, murder CJ Stroud. That's how the season should start. So
he never beat Michigan, right? If I remember right.
He did once.
Oh, was it the first?
Oh no, he didn't. He was there, but he didn't play.
That was Fields, right?
Yeah, that was Fields. It was another coward, but different story for a different day. Wasn't built for SEC football, so he had to transfer to Ohio State like a fucking pussy. I didn't say that out loud.
Oh, there you go, man. Well, there you have it. That's gonna do it for this week's episode. We'll be back next week to discuss this, that, and the other. Who knows? Maybe Grant will be cut by then. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
No. It started okay, and then it just didn't work.
And it just didn't go well. Well, son of a bitch. I can always calm it down.
I'll take that one.
Weird.
I'll take that one.
That was a half-assed death, but I'll take it.
Zone 32.